In the next few minutes, I'm exposing the 5 beer brands hiding metallic flavors, watered-down profiles, and outright chemical harshness behind their marketing. Plus, the cans sitting in your cooler right now that honestly barely qualify as beer. But here's the good news. Stick with me until the end, because I'll reveal 2 beers that actually deliver, including one absolute standard bearer. Let's separate the real brews from the bottom of the barrel. 5. Budweiser Select 55. Starting at number 5, Select 55 markets itself as the ultimate health-conscious choice. Sounds good so far, right? But crack open a can and you'll realize what you're actually paying for. To drop down to just 55 calories, they've stripped away almost everything that makes it a beer. Reviewers consistently describe it as carbonated water that was briefly introduced to a single hop. You're sacrificing all the body and flavor just to save a few calories. 4. Sharps at number 4 is Sharps, Miller's non-alcoholic option. Now there are some incredible NA beers on the market today, but this isn't one of them. For decades, this has been the default NA choice in dive bars. But it consistently gets slammed in taste tests for having a harsh, metallic, and incredibly watered-down profile. If you're skipping the alcohol, you still want the flavor of a good beer, and Sharps completely misses the mark. 3. Keystone Light. At number 3, Keystone Light looks like the ultimate budget-friendly choice. Big packs, low prices. But here's what you're probably not aware of. Reviewers regularly complain that it tastes exactly like the aluminum can it comes in. It's a beer that usually only gets bought when the primary goal is saving money for a massive party. But the flavor profile is dominated by a flat sweetness that blocks out any real malt or hop notes. 2. Natural Ice. At number 2, Natty Ice pushes the limits even further. It packs a 5.9% ABV, which is higher than its standard counterpart, and that's exactly why people buy it. But that extra alcohol comes at a massive cost to the flavor. It has a notoriously harsh, almost chemical-like bite that earns it rock-bottom scores across the board. You're getting cheap alcohol, but your taste buds are paying the price. 1. Natural Light. Taking the number 1 spot for the worst beer in the cooler. Natty Light is the quintessential college basement standard. It's incredibly cheap, but it sacrifices virtually all flavor to hit that rock-bottom price tag. It's essentially carbonated water with a hint of grain. It sits right next to the premium beers on the shelf, competing for the trust of consumers who just want a cheap 30-pack. But there is absolutely nothing satisfying about cracking one of these open. After exposing the imposters, here's the good news. These 2 beers deliver exactly what a cold one should be, backed by actual flavor and a brewing legacy that the brands above could never match. 2. Yuengling Traditional Lager. At number 2, we're looking at an absolute Pennsylvania staple. As America's oldest brewery, Yuengling delivers actual flavor. Instead of watered-down yellow fizz, you get a rich amber color and a roasted caramel malt profile that completely outperforms its price point. It's a proper beer that doesn't pretend to be anything else. 1. Miller Lite. Taking the top spot is Miller Lite. They essentially invented the light beer category, but unlike the watered-down competitors we just talked about, Miller actually figured out how to keep the flavor intact. It's a true pilsner, brewed with real hops and malt, delivering a crisp, clean bite at only 96 calories. Clean ingredients, nothing hidden, just a genuinely great-tasting, reliable beer. There you have it. 5 beers to leave on the shelf, and 2 that actually deserve a place in your fridge. If this changed the way you think about what you're drinking, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me which beer you want investigated next, and share this with everyone who deserves to know what they're really cracking open. Thanks for watching, and until next time, check the label.